20 plus 10x is going to be 5 plus 5x. And you have to plug in, I think, however many text messages for the x that you have.
Wow, that was really quick. I wasn't expecting the answer. That is fantastic. Now, I won't say you're totally right, but you are right there. Okay. First of all, we always need to make sure it's an equation. So y equals, okay? He says $20 plus 10 times x. Let's take a look at this first equation. Is that accurate according to what is said in our problem? $20 plus 10 cents a text. Oh, he's saying no. What do you want to change? Yeah, so what do you want to change? Or you can just put the point there. Yeah, because then this is dollars, and if we don't put that decimal point in, you're exactly right. It would have been $10 a text. That would have been a little pricey. Okay, so we also want to change that up for our Talk More company. Guys, put the phones away. So $55 plus 5 cents per text. Okay? Question. Guys, eyes up here. Question. So we have these two equations. We have how many different ways that we can use to solve for something? We could do graphing. What else could we do? Substitution and and elimination. Yes, it says, and that's good. If you don't remember, use your notes. That's what they're for. Now, question.
Wait, it says linear combination. Is that it?
Yes, that is what elimination is.
Oh, okay.
Linear combination. No, I'm glad you asked because I might not have said that. So these two have the same. They are the same. Sometimes people say elimination because you are eliminating one of the variables. Linear combination, same thing. Substitution and graphing. That's right. If we want to figure out which is cheaper, is one of these methods going to be better? Elimination. So let's think about this. If I use elimination and substitution, what is my solution going to be? In other words, if I solve these, what am I going to get? If I solve these, what am I going to get? No, not an equation. Okay, what does that solution look like? Is it going to be, it's not an equation. When you are solving these, what are we solving for?
Y and X.
X and Y, right? So I'm going to get an X and Y that is a point. Is that going to be helpful to tell me which one is going to be cheaper? What happens at this point? What happens at that point?
Wait, what do you mean by that?
When this is your solution, what is going on at that solution?
Two lines intersect.
That's where they intersect. And also in this case, since we're talking about text and total cost, what does that solution tell me?
Total, that's the,
Yeah. One of these is going to tell me the total charge. Would that be the X or the Y? The Y is going to tell me the total charge. And what does X represent here? Number of text messages. So if they come up with the same answer and we get the solution for both of those, that means this is where both of those lines would intersect and they would both cost the same at that point. Okay? They both are going to cost the same at that point. That is not helpful to me though, right? That's where they're going to cost the same, where they intersect. So which of these methods do I probably really want to use to see which one's going to be cheaper? Graphing. Yes. Does that make sense now? Yes, a little. If it doesn't, you got to say something. This is your learning taking place here. If we solve by substitution or elimination linear combination, we would get a point like this. That point is going to tell us where they cost the same amount for the same number of text messages. That is not going to be helpful. So we are going to use graphing. And let's graph. Let's graph. You guys have a graph on that page. I'm going to see if I can remember these. So A plus telecommunications was Y equals, what was it? 10 cents times X plus 20. And more talk. Do you see why this could be me? Kind of punny. More talk and A plus. Y equals 0.05x plus $55. I know, so I did. Did she say that? Yes, she did. All right, so we need to graph. What is going to be on my x-axis? Eli, put it down. What is it? Yes, down on the x-axis is number of text messages. Number of text messages. What's over on the y-axis? Total charge, total cost, total charge. Yes, total cost. Now, the only reason it might be good to find the intersection right away is to kind of give you an idea of, what are going to be some good numbers to look at. Okay, so in finding that single point, it could be helpful in trying to create your graph. Okay, I'm going to make this. I am so excited that I found this that makes straight lines. It's the little things. So let's say we do want to actually find that point, just to see what kind of numbers we're looking at. As you look at these, would you use substitution or would you use elimination? You could always use either one, right? Okay. So you want to use elimination. We can do that. And what do you want to eliminate? The X or the Y? Okay. So I'm going to do this. You should do this too.
Wait, but if I'm gonna what are we going by?
Well, that's what I just said. So let me repeat this one more time. We just said we really want to graph. Okay? Question?
Any number in the X, like for both of the equations, the rule that comes out with different answers for each rule?
Yes, it will. The problem is, and it could be a problem, it might not. So what numbers would we typically think of using to start off with? Because this is so low, 10 cents. So if we're talking about 10 messages, that would be a total of $21. So my thinking is I want to see where they do cross so I know kind of how big this graph is going to be. Does that make sense? That's the only reason. Yes, we do want to graph, but it might be helpful to figure out what are our numbers when they intersect. Okay? So what do I need to do to get rid of the x's here? Oh, here's an X. I forgot. Subtract. Well, someone said we want to get rid of the X's. We could get rid of the y's. Multiply by what? If this is 10 cents and this is 5 cents, how much do I want to multiply by? How many 5 cents are in 10 cents? How many? 2. Takes 2 nickels to make a dime, right? And we want to make it negative, right? Because if this is 10 cents, we want to make this negative 10 cents. So this is, oh sure, bring up more food. 10 cents plus 20, negative 2y equals, I need to multiply this 2 by that 5 cents. So that's going to be negative 10 cents minus 110. Guys, you keep talking back there. Maybe you're talking math or not, but it's just a little distracting to me. Thank you. So help us out up here. So now this is why we call it elimination. We are getting rid of the x coordinate here. That cancels out. What is y plus negative 2y? Negative y, right? Yes. And 20 plus negative 110 is negative 90. So my y coordinate, if I divide by negative 1, is going to be 90. And y is the total cost. So we're talking about $90. And this is per month because we're talking about text messages per month. So I know I need to go up to 90. How do I find that X amount? Substitute in. Does it matter which equation I substitute back in for? No, it doesn't. I would look for the easier one. For me, I'm looking at A plus right up here. So A plus is y is the 90. Duh, Miss Sadie, come on. So, trying to erase. So 90 is equal to 10 cents times the number of text messages plus 20. I'm trying to solve for x. I want to get x by itself. Come on, write this down. Subtract what? Yes, subtract 20. You're like, oh, algebra, good old algebra, I can do this. 70 equals 10 cents times x divided by 10 cents. Now remember, this is 10 cents. This is not 10. So how many 10 cents, how many dimes are there in $70? 700. So if we had not found this actual point, we might have been looking at, let's make x 20, and that is our top. You know, we might have been doing 1, 2, 5, 10, a lot lower. Now that helps me to figure out what I'm going to do. So if my x amount where they cross is 700, 700 is where they're crossing. I'm going like 100.
No, I meant like 10 for the other side.
Okay. So, yeah, 100, 200 texts, 300, 400. Yes, we're sick of doing this. 500, 600, 700. So I know somewhere up on that X is where they're going to cross, and 800. Okay. Then I know I've got a total of $90, and that's where they're going to cross. So I'm looking at this, and I'm like, well, should I do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70? That's only 80. I like to have some extra. So I'm going to go instead by 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140. Now, do you have to do these exactly? No. You do need to be consistent though. Okay? So if you're going up by 20, every line has to be 20. All right. Yes.
So I'm gonna, like, it's not like,
Okay. What did you go by?
10, but like each line instead of like.
Okay. Well, I mean, essentially we're doing 10, so that's 10, 20, 30, like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. All right.
Or like the same thing, but like.
Okay. So my point here is $790. So 790 would be, there's 80 right here. So both of these lines are going to cross at that spot. All right. First of all, let's look at A plus telecommunications. And let's come up with some values, right? We got X and Y values. So if I substitute a value in for X and I have to multiply it by 10 cents, okay, first of all, what's my Y-intercept here? Let's do that. Where am I starting at? So if I put in 0 for X, 10 cents times 0 is 20. Okay, so we're going to plot that. This is red, A plus printing. So there's my dot right there. Next, well, shoot, this is going up by 100, so let's put in 100. 100 times 10 cents is going to be $10. So $10 plus the 20 that's there gives me a total of $30. So that means every 100 is going to be, well, 100 here is going to be 30. I got to go in a little bit here. So 100 is 30. And we started at 20. So basically every 100 is going to be 10 more. Yes. Thank you. So right there and right there and right there. Does everybody see how we got that amount? See there, and it crosses right there. So we could put in 200, 300 and do that. Or since we started with 20, take 20 away from 30. And so every 100 is going to be 10 more up. All right, so I'm going to make this line. Darn it. Rude. All right, there's A plus right there. Ugh. Ugh. A plus. All right, so now let's look at more talk. Love that. A plus and more talk. Can't beat it. So let's find its y-intercept. The y-intercept is on the y-axis. That means I put 0 in for x. If this is 0, 0 times this is 0, that means my y-intercept is 55. 55, which is going to be right there. That's not 55. Right here. There we go. Okay, in between the lines of 60 and 50. So that was x is 0, this is 55. I'm not doing the x again. So if x is 100, all right, I know you're getting seasick here. 100 times 5 cents is going to be $5, right? If this is 100, and that gives me $5 plus 55 is 60. So this is going to be 60. So that means for every 100, it is going up $5. So that means that one is there. That one is there. That one is there. Trying to do my lines here. This one is here. Here. Here is where they intersect. And here. Okay. So here is this line. And that is for talk more. Whew. All right, so there's my graph. So what does this really tell us? Which is going to be the better buy? A plus all the time? Not all the time, but if you do less than 700 messages, and so it's going to depend. If you do less than 700 text messages, then yes, A plus is going to be the best for you. Less than 700 messages per month. Okay? But if you do more than 700 messages in a month, then Talk More is going to be the best for you and your family. Okay? So it depends on how many text messages you do or you and your family do if this is a family plan. Does that make sense? Any questions about that? We only have 4 more minutes, don't we? Gosh, I don't know why. Do you feel I teach slowly?
No, you like talking. You know what?
I talk a little too much.
You don't talk too
I
much.
think so.
Well, stop. No, I feel like, I don't know. Because we were supposed to do 2 things, and I'm like, I don't know how, unless I just say, here you go, you do it, and I feel like everybody would be like, ah. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I feel like we got to go through it together. I try to ask you, and you give me answers. Anyway, okay.
I thought we had it enough. Like, we passed our tests. We did.
That's true. That's true. We did pass out the tests, yes. So just a reminder, and this will hopefully do maybe tomorrow, because this is kind of like the battleship. Reminder that Unit 5 will have a final project instead of the test. Right now, I don't know when it is, but we've got a way to go. Okay? It might be end of February. It might even be into March. So this chapter has got a lot in it. Okay? Was anybody not here and needs a trifold on how to do yesterday? Okay, yes. Let me get that for